Hey mate, welcome back to the channel. Stop solving your puzzles alone. Chess is such a solo sport. Let's do 14 here together. I've got a 30-second timer. Try and solve the puzzle in that 30 seconds. If not, it's all good. After the time runs out, I'll explain in detail. So if there's anything you missed in the puzzle, the name of the checkmate, all these sorts of things, I'll fill in those gaps. For the loyal viewers who've been binging the series, I got a bit of a channel update for you on the series, but I'll hide it after a few puzzles once all the random dopamine fiends have left. We're starting at 741, and this first puzzle is actually very challenging, so if you don't get it, don't stress. I'll explain the correct answer. All the puzzles are made in 2 white to move. Your time starts now. Would you believe the answer to this one is Queen G1? Let me know if you found this in the comments. I'll be pretty impressed. How do we come up with this crazy move? Well, you'll see that the knights are stopping the king here, and the king as well. So any check is a checkmate, right? Also, you need to notice our king is safe. They don't have any checks because the bishop is pinned here, so they can't use that one. And there's no other piece that can check. So we can do a quiet move. We need to threaten multiple things. So Queen G1 works because we are threatening to take the queen here. Remembering the bishop's pinned. That's a key thing that you might have missed in this puzzle. You did need to notice that the bishop was pinned. So that would be checkmate there. You're also creating a battery here, the reverse what we usually like, but this still works. All you need is one check, so the bishop can check there. If they take our queen, then our rook can actually slide over here doing the same thing. Bishop's pinned, it can't block. And if the rook takes, then our rook can slide up. We remove the mate defender from here, deflecting it from that square, so we can give a checkmate there. Again, this is what might have stumped a lot of you. The bishop's pinned. Very beautiful puzzle to start on. Let's go on to the next one. We have 742. This is what we kind of need to notice here. The 2 bishops and the knight, these can checkmate on their own. We don't actually need the queen. And that helps you find the answer. It's actually queen takes h7. The reason why it's queen and not bishop is because this forces the knight to take. And we actually needed to open up the scope of the bishop here. That's important. Whereas if you take with the bishop, they can run, and you're not doing checkmate on the next turn. Even if you do a discovered check, they can run again. It's not mate in 2. You failed the puzzle. So that's why we take with the queen. Knight is forced to take. It would be checkmate. We've opened up here, and now we can finish him off. This is kind of the pattern you need to remember when you're attacking on the king side, that you don't need the queen. These 2 bishops with the knight support. 743. Common pattern if you've been following the series. We sacrifice to lure the king onto this square to follow up with our epaulette mate here. Remembering the epaulettes are like the shoulder pad thingos from the past, defended by the bishop. So that's the first way we can checkmate. The second way is they're going to run. So they can run 2 ways. If the king runs here, we follow him with the queen and we deliver the swallowtails checkmate, defended by the bishop so they can't take. And if he goes the other way, we slide across here with the queen. Queen's taking away all the light squares, bishop's taking away the dark squares, and then the king's restricting over here. We are up to 744. We decoy sacrifice here, forcing the king to take, opening up the lines so the bishop can come in. Knight's doing a good job over here. Easy checkmate there. 745. Definitely not an easy one. Really creative. See if you can find the solution. It appears we have 2 correct answers. Feel free to correct me in the comments, or if you have other solutions you think work, write them down. That's what I love about this series, is everyone's writing in the comments different moves and ideas. It's just going to be an awesome resource for people working through. I give these exercises to my private students as well, so if you're a private student of mine and you've made it this far, proud of you, buddy. Nice work. Keep at it. The training's going to pay off. You're going to just start noticing all these checkmate patterns automatically. The answer in the book is bishop c8. I love this move. So creative. I did not find this the first time solving, so if you did this in 30 seconds, just bravo. Really well done. Why this move though? Well, it does a lot of things. One, we get the bishop out of the way because we're x-ray threatening checkmate down here. For example, if they take, then we just come down here and we've got a simple checkmate. But we are also x-ray threatening the queen. Why is this important? Well, if they stop this checkmate down here by taking the rook, we can take the queen over here and deliver the checkmate this way. But there is also this move, which looks really promising. We take the knight here, just keeping it simple. That knight was stopping checkmate in 1. We've removed the mate defender, and we're threatening mate in 1 here. If they play a move like bishop takes, we just play the checkmate. If they play something like queen e2, so now they're stopping our checkmate here. But we've created a couple of threats. Now they've blocked this hole here, so we can come down here with the rook for an opera mate. Let me know if you see any holes in this solution, like knight takes, because the book does give bishop to c8. We're really spoiled this episode. There's some beautiful puzzles already, and we're only 5 in. 746. We're going to do a double check tactic. So we're doing a double check here. Rook, bishop, double check, king has to move. And I did say a double check tactic. Now we have a double check again, giving the checkmate over here, supported here and here. Nowhere it can go. Fancy that one. I just remembered I said I was going to give a little channel update. Not going to lie, I kind of forgot, so that's why I didn't do it earlier on. Normally I try and aim for after 2 or 3 puzzles. But after 6 puzzles, I mean, it's only my most loyal viewers that are here, so I appreciate you being here. I really do. The message I just wanted to say is I think I went a bit too hard on this series, so I was posting weekly for quite a long time, and the traction was really good at the start. It was really good. I've done a couple of viral videos in there, which was awesome. But I think I overdid it every week. Obviously, you guys that are watching right now are super keen, and that's great, but for the majority of people, they don't really want to use their brain too much. So I think me doing this every week, I think a lot of people got a bit sick of it. They'd tune in every few weeks or something like this. So I am reevaluating how often I post. Also, the YouTube algorithm, I think, has been punishing it because I didn't know what I was doing. I failed you guys a little bit. I named everything the exact same title and just changed the number, which turns out it just reads that as I've done the exact same thing, and pretty sure it triggered spam, which is going to take a long time for me to undo all the hurt I've done to the series. So please support this more than you ever have before. You know all the things you need to do to help a video get good. Watch to the end, like it, comment, whatever, share it. If you've got a friend, tell them about it. Because yeah, it's been a bit disheartening seeing the views go down and backwards. So I think it's a combination of the anti-spam, but also, I mean, maybe you guys just want a bit more variety. I've started doing some posts on YouTube here. That's like in the community tab. You'll see it on the homepage there if you've never used it before. But you can do votes and polls. I'm doing a lot of these. Mainly I just want to figure out who you guys are, to be honest. At the moment, there's 692 of you guys, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot when you compare it to the big YouTubers. I mean, but that'd feel more than my tiny apartment here. So it's actually a lot. And I don't know much about you guys, because I think you're all maybe as introverted as I am. So you don't comment, but I can tell you're a regular viewer and watcher, especially if you're listening to this now. You have to be, because not many people get 6 puzzles through. They really don't. But I want to continue making this for the people that really want to improve and are enjoying my explanations. So please answer those polls. I'm asking things like, what's your rating? How sick of the series are you? How often do you want me to post it? Because this does give me a guidance, like, are you just kind of over the series? You know, should I do it fortnightly or monthly? I'm not going to can it because I do love this series and I'm planning doing 54 in total. I think I just put my head down and was like, oh, I'll just do one a week for 54 weeks. Everyone will love it. But then obviously it's the same thing. So I want to spread a few things. I've started doing other sort of things. Like I'm working through the Lee Chess trainer, like all the practice lessons there. I think that's going to be cool because it says literally every checkmate pattern name. I'm working through some book reviews. I did want to make it stick, which I think is really huge if you haven't done that before, because that teaches you the long-term memory pattern recognition techniques, and then I applied it to chess. That one's on the homepage there. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you want going forward. If you want more, speak up, because 7 votes on a post is not enough for me to really guide when there's almost 700 of you guys, so it doesn't really give me too much, but I appreciate those that have been hyping me up. Obviously, I've been taking a bit of a break because the watch time on the channel is actually going down, so I'm getting further away from getting monetized, even though I worked harder during the break. I was posting 2 videos during my Christmas break. So that was pretty demotivating, not going to lie. So I took a bit of a break there because if you don't know how it works, you need the 4,000 watch hours within a year. So every week I lose a video. So if I had a good video a year ago, it's gone. And then my watch time goes backwards. So that can be a bit depressing, to be honest. Because honestly, I feel like it's going to be a few years until people even start appreciating this series. Like there'll probably be like 100 views on this video, something like this, typically when I start it. But maybe in 2-3 years time, some coaches will pick this up. They'll start recommending it to private students, like I do with my own, and maybe we'll take off then. So I'm playing the end game a little bit, and I do want to create a big library here. I want to fill in some gaps for my own private students, things that I just don't think are out there. And I appreciate you very much. If you heard this, you obviously like what I'm doing and want me to continue to succeed. Anyway, I'll stop squawking here and I'll get on to the next puzzle. 747. We have a classic Zugzwang puzzle. What does Zugzwang mean? It's a German word for essentially they need to make a bad move. See how all their pawns are locked in? They cannot move any of them. So the only options they have is to move this pawn by taking our rook or move this knight. Nothing else can move. That's going to be the key to victory here. How do we capitalize on it though? We take this pawn here with the rook. It really limits their options. They can either move this pawn or move this knight. That's all they can do. If they take with the pawn, well, we can checkmate like here because the king's restricting there. And they have no good knight moves. If they move here, we checkmate. If they move here, we checkmate as well. 748. This pattern should be screaming at you. We got a basic rook mate, but we need to set it up. So we sacrifice the rook here to force the king. As soon as you see this, you know you'll want to place a rook here for checkmate at the back. 749. Staying on theme here, but we just need to build up on our knowledge. We can't sacrifice here like the last puzzle. to force the king up. What we do instead is we need to plug the king's escape. We give a check here, and if he takes with the rook, we've stopped his retreat, so we can come over here, allowing the checkmate on the side. If he doesn't take with the rook, he can't take with the king because it's defended by our rook. He can go up, but then we've got this same pattern here. We just slide on over with the rook for checkmate there. 750. Well, we are X-ray threatening the back rank checkmate here with the king acting as this wall of pawns. We just got to move this bishop out of the way. We can do that with check, so we get rid of him. If they take it, we just go up with the rook. And if they move the king to the side, well, we've got this pattern again. Do our rook mate up top. 751. So we've got two main checks here. We're going to look at the bishop check and the rook check. The bishop check doesn't work because let's say they take with the knight and we check with the rook, then they can block. It's not made into. The correct answer is we play rook to e8 check here. They can either block with the rook or they can take with the knight. So let's say knight takes. Well, then we can come in here. We removed the mate defender, which was the knight. And I mean, if they block, well, then we just take with the rook, right? 752. This one's good as, look at this. It looks like you want to do something like a check with the bishop, right? But the king can escape, and we don't have any good double checks or anything like that because they can keep running away. What we actually need to do is we need to plug a hole here. That's the king's escape. We need to stop it ahead of time. We do that by sacrificing the rook. That'd be checkmate, so they got two options. If they take with the bishop, we've plugged the hole here so the bishop can just drop back, and now the king can no longer run away. If they take with the king, well then we've just got our checkmate here with the bishop support. 753. This battery is a pretty good indicator of the answer. You know this is deadly. How do we make it work though? Well, we want to force the king to the square. He's currently quite restricted, so we can sacrifice the rook. Decoy sacrifice. King has to take. We've led him over, and our battery finishes off the game. 754. Last one here. Let's finish strong. Noticing we have the battery here again, but the bishop's actually pinned, you can't move it. It looks like at first you want to try something like queen here, but then after here, we don't actually have a way to finish him off. He's just going to keep escaping. We actually need to plug the hole again. How do we do that? We play pawn to c7. That would be checkmate there, so they're forced to take with the queen. Now that square's blocked, so we can move on up here, using the power of the battery to checkmate the king with the pawn support. I already chatted your ear off enough after puzzle 746, so I'll leave it there and I'll see you in the next one.